And our final talk of this introductory session will be Cam, who's going to be talking to us about the future of the QSO system. Over to you.
Aloha kakeakakako. Good morning, everyone. Salut. Great to be here. I will, off the top, say there's no math in this presentation, so we're done with the math portion of the morning here. So I am going to begin with talking about Kealahou, which is the future of CFHT's user-facing system. So for you, those of you who don't know me, my name is Cam Wipper. I grew up on the west coast, Vancouver Island. For those who don't know Canadian geography, that's about as far west as you can get in Canada and still be in Canada from here, over on the west coast. And I've been in Hawaii for about 15 years. On Sunday will be 10 years I've been at CFHT. Started as an observer there and now working within the software team on this project here, along with other stuff. So for those of you that have, current users of CFHT are likely familiar with this screen here. This is our the login screen for the Kealahou application. I want to highlight, to start off, this phrase right here. It says, the new way to conduct queued service observations at CFHT. You may wonder why it says that, and that's simply because the name of Kealahou itself. So a little bit of Olelo Hawaii here. K is the definitive article. Basically translates to the. Ala means path or trail. In our case, we go with way. And then ho means new. So the name of our application here quite simply means the new way. And those longtime users who have used Phase 2, our old system will know, is definitely the new way with Kealahou. So as we'll talk about here, Kealahou is CFHT's integrated end-to-end QSO platform. So it's a classic three-layer software structure here. The top layer that all of you are familiar with is the web application. Middle layer is API application server, and then the bottom is database. It contains what we call K1, our Phase 1 proposal submission and review system, which those of you are familiar with. K2, our science program management and data access interface. It also has a fully included user management authentication system contained within the application itself. And we use it also for our internal queue operations. Our observers will send the nightly observations through the Kealahou platform. And it has a data bridge to the legacy system, so we can inject data into our old system and back and forth between Kealahou and the system there. And the cool thing we're really proud of, it's all designed and built in-house at CFHT. As Indeed mentioned, we're a pretty small team, so the fact that a couple software engineers has been able to build all of this is something we're proud of. So Kealahou started in 2018. It was originally the software platform that allowed us to begin Spiru science operations. Started with Spiru, and now it supports Spiru, Espedons, and MegaCam, and also replaced Northstar, our old Phase 1 application back in 2022. And so you can see it's growing the capabilities, and it'll basically, as we'll talk about in the next couple minutes, encompass our entire QSO system. So what we have next here, and we'll take a seat for this part. So we're just rolling out our latest developments here. We have new MegaCam SNR modes. It's just come out the last couple months. We have a per exposure mode as well as the cumulative mode. So I know Sean Charles is very familiar with that. We'll also have a couple of different sub modes, single target and multi-target modes as well. We've just last week actually rolled out new user collaboration features for K2. So the K1 users will be familiar with how you can invite other users to your proposal. That capability now exists for your program as well. You can invite other collaborators, users, students, whoever, and assign them different permissions on your program, from just basically read-only all the way to full program admin. We also have a few other things working out, coming out next, currently out or in the next couple of weeks. We have duplications for our templates and observing groups. So this is one of the feedback we've received most commonly. There's a screenshot of an email here of someone requesting this exact feature. To allow you to create OGs and OTs much more quickly, so you have to point them all one by one. And then coming this summer is bulk target uploads. You'll be able to upload an AstroRes file of all your target lists to the site. Just as a note here, certainly we want to hear from all of you. If you have emails, suggestions, let us know. You can always contact us if you have issues or want assistance or just want to request something new and cool. So in this new next year and beyond, so we've several large things in the next 12 to 18 months planned. A couple of those have been brought up already this morning. As was noted, I think by Nadine, CFHT did receive some funding to join Aon, which is led through Las Cumbres on the mainland. And this, as is noted, will allow us basically be able to request use transient observations through Aon's multi-site interface. And it does include that rapid target of opportunity capability, which you mentioned. And this will be developed in conjunction with this Aon capability, but will be available to Aon and non-Aon TOO programs. And as was Nadine mentioned, this will be allowed you to request observations during the night, resulting in potential response time to new exciting phenomena in as little as a few minutes. And as we just heard about with Veneo Kealahou here, we'll also make some software changes for Veneo Kealahou to support the science operations of that instrument. Chief among these will be changes to allow users to configure simultaneous observations with both Spiru and Esperance through the program interface of K2. And last thing I'll mention here is that, as we mentioned also this morning, Satel and WeirCam are scheduled for retirement. And so those instruments are still using the legacy system. So we'll need to do some work to make sure we have everything we need to maintain our QSO operations within Kealahou when that legacy platform is retired. So we have a big list of projects. Some things I'll include in the next year or so, auto-saving for some of the web forms. We're also considering public access to the API. So if you want to simply work through the API as opposed to the UI, you can do that. That'll be developed as part of the Aon and to roll it out for users then. And it's just, many other improvements. This is a list of a very small group of our internal project management tickets of different improvements that have been suggested. A couple of things, other things we do. We also work on infrastructure upgrades, currently upgrading to Java 21, upgrading our database. This all happens internally. I think Nadine mentioned this as well. We're working on auto grading to assist our observers and coordinators. So WeirCam currently is our test platform for auto grading. And we hope to have that out for other instruments in the future. And as I mentioned a minute ago, we're migrating all of our internal tools and functions prep for Sybase decommissioning 2027. So this final shutdown of our Sybase PH2, the legacy platform, will then result in Kealahou being responsible for all of our Q operations. And that's the ultimate goal of this so-called Kealahou Generation 1 is the retirement of this system and having Kealahou take over all of these operations. So after that, though, there is a future after that's done. So, getting a little fun with the Apple Image Playground there. So over the next little while, there's several sessions talking about the future of CFHT. And that's why one of the reasons we wanted to have all of you join us this week. Other ideas for Kealahou, those things like automatic queue scheduling, as we talked about for several years, potentially even autonomous observing, dare I say, things like natural language processing, AI sort of integrations. We've also brought up things like spinning off open sourcing K1 or perhaps all of Kealahou to release it to the broader community as a platform that other places could use. And maybe you have ideas too, and that's what I really wanted to emphasize this morning. Was your ideas. If you have thoughts, ideas, suggestions, things you want to see, please let us know. You can talk to me in the next couple of days, email us, let it on Slack, anything you'd like to do, submit ideas. We definitely want to hear what you might have for us and how we can make it better for you. So the last thing I'll mention is to get the creative juices flowing. And the reason why I think this emphasizes why all of you are here. Because I thought maybe I'd just ask ChatGPT what the future looked like. And I don't know, no one's come up with giant robot arms yet. I think that's maybe a missed opportunity there. But so I think maybe there's a little bit, we got CSO Dole attached to the top of ChatGPT and then the robot arms from Gemini. Anyway, I just wanted to maybe emphasize why we need your ideas and not AI ideas this morning. So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Awesome questions, Wes.
I've heard questions about additional problems or creating problems here. Just
repeating the question for people on Zoom. Wes is asking if they've considered integrating toms into your system.
So not directly integrated system, but we're working with LCO and they want to include basically CFHT support into their TOM toolkit. So I anticipate that CFHT will become an extension of the existing COM toolkit that LCO is developing.
It's not called LCO.
It's their platform, so I can't say for sure. Yeah, but certainly let us know. You can shoot me an email and we can find out for you. Yeah.
Other questions? Andy?
So I've been both reading and out parts and spot the phrase.
Mm-hmm.
You can say a few words about the software.
Can you just repeat as well?
Yeah, so the question was related to modifications for the software to support Veneo-Kealahou Mode 3 operations. Mode 3 is the simultaneous operation of Spirit and Esperance together. And so we've had several discussions, actually quite recently, last month or so, a little bit about how that'll work. There's everything from somehow the observer will need to select which guider. We'll have both guide cameras available, so the software will need to suggest the proper guide camera the observer will need to use. On the Kealahou side, we'll need to create a new interface to allow, as I mentioned, all of you to be able to program simultaneous observations. There's the challenge there is that exposure time on Esperance could be very different than exposure time for Spiru. So how can we create, the data structures needed to support sending commands potentially in a non-linear order, right? If you have finished with your first exposure on one instrument, but you're still observing with the other instrument, how can we make sure we interleave these commands in a way that is sendable to the instruments themselves? I can get into all more technical stuff, but maybe I'll just leave it there. But you can come talk to me about it if you have questions about that as well. But we definitely have lots of ideas and a lot of work to do to support, especially Mode 3 operations.
Fantastic. Another question at the back?
Yeah. So
repeat the question.
Yeah. So the question was about for any students that may be interested in a career similar to mine. So as I mentioned, I did grow up on the west coast of Canada, and I did attend a University of Hawaii in Hilo. I chose that university to be close to the Mauna Kea observatories. I know going to Hawaii to work go to school there is not available to everybody, but I found that university and other universities in Canada as well likely allow students to be and access observatories as their students. For me, that was critical, was to be able to go and volunteer to see observatories in operation while I was still a student. I started at CFHT as an observer. I working at night, and I didn't know that position existed before I even started at university when I went to a telescope to check it out. So I think the best thing I can say is try to get into an observatory, whether you're just volunteering or asking for a tour, and then you learn about all the careers and go from there.
Great question. Okay, on that note, let's thank Cam again.